The Urantia book, section 3, the history of Urantia, paper 116, the Almighty Supreme. If man recognized that his creators, his immediate supervisors, while being divine, were also finite, that the God of time and space was an evolving and non-absolute deity, then would the inconsistency of temporal inequalities cease to be profound religious paradoxes. No longer would religious faith be prostituted to the promotion of social smugness in the fortunate, while serving only to encourage stoical resignation in the unfortunate victims of social deprivation. When viewing the exquisitely perfect spheres of Havona, it is both reasonable and logical to believe they were made by a perfect, infinite and absolute creator, but that same reason and logic would compel any honest being, when viewing the turmoil, imperfections and inequities of Urantia, to conclude that your world had been made by and was being managed by, creators who were subabsolute, preinfinite and other than perfect. Experiential growth implies creature-creator partnership - God and man in association. Growth is the earmark of experiential deity. Havona did not grow. Havona is and always has been. It is existential, like the everlasting gods who are its source. But growth characterizes the grand universes. The Almighty Supreme is a living and evolving deity of power and personality. His present domain, the grand universe, is also a growing realm of power and personality. His destiny is perfection, but his present experience encompasses the elements of growth and incomplete status. The Supreme Being functions primarily in the central universe as a spirit personality, secondarily in the grand universe as God the Almighty, a personality of power. The tertiary function of the Supreme in the master universe is now latent, existing only as an unknown mind potential. No one knows just what this third development of the Supreme Being will disclose. Some believe that when the super-universes are settled in light and life, the Supreme will become functional from Uversa as the Almighty and experiential sovereign of the grand universe, while expanding in power as the super Almighty of the outer universes. Others speculate that the third stage of supremacy will involve the third level of deity manifestation, but none of us really know. The Supreme Mind, the experience of every evolving creature personality, is a phase of the experience of the Almighty Supreme. The intelligent subjugation of every physical segment of the super-universes is a part of the growing control of the Almighty Supreme. The creative synthesis of power and personality is a part of the creative urge of the Supreme Mind and is the very essence of the evolutionary growth of unity in the Supreme Being. The union of the power and personality attributes of supremacy is the function of Supreme Mind, and the completed evolution of the Almighty Supreme will result in one unified and personal deity, not in any loosely coordinated association of divine attributes. From the broader perspective, there will be no Almighty apart from the Supreme, no Supreme apart from the Almighty. Throughout the evolutionary ages, the physical power potential of the Supreme is vested in the 7 Supreme Power Directors, and the mind potential reposes in the 7 Master Spirits. The infinite mind is the function of the Supreme. Is the function of the infinite spirit, the cosmic mind, the ministry of the 7 Master Spirits. The Supreme Mind is in process of actualizing in the coordination of the grand universe and in functional association with the revelation and attainment of God the sevenfold. The time-space mind, the cosmic mind is differently functioning in the 7 super universes, but it is coordinated by some unknown associative technique in the Supreme Being. The Almighty over control of the grand universe is not exclusively physical and spiritual. In the 7 super universes, it is primarily material and spiritual. But there are also present phenomena of the Supreme, which are both intellectual and spiritual. We really know less about the mind of supremacy than about any other universe, and is believed to have a potential destiny of master universe function, which is of vast extent, but this we do know. Whereas physique may attain completed growth, and whereas spirit may achieve perfection of development, mind never ceases to progress. It is the experiential technique of endless progress. The Supreme is an experiential deity and therefore never achieves completion of mind attainment. 2. The Almighty and God the sevenfold. The appearance of the universe power presence of the Almighty is concomitant with the appearance on the stage of cosmic action of the high creators and controllers of the evolutionary super universes. God the Supreme derives his spirit and personality attributes from the Paradise Trinity, but he is power-actualizing in the doings of the Creator's sons, the Ancients of Days, and the Master Spirits, whose collective acts are the source of his growing power as Almighty Sovereign to and in the 7 super universes. Unqualified paradise deity is incomprehensible to the evolving creatures of time and space. Eternity and infinity connote a level of deity reality which time-space creatures cannot comprehend. Infinity of deity and absoluteness of sovereignty are inherent in the Paradise Trinity, and the Trinity is a reality which lies somewhat beyond the understanding of mortal man. Better said, mortal man doesn't understand at all the entire Trinity. Better said, the majority of humans do truly think that the Trinity is a concept created by men themselves. Well, that's really not true, of course. Infinity of deity and the absoluteness of sovereignty are inherent in the Paradise Trinity, and the Trinity is a reality which lies somewhat beyond the understanding of mortal man. Time, space, creatures must have origins, relativities, and destinies in order to grasp universe relationships. Well, I think humanity shall never grasp a deep understanding of how the cosmos and everything works. Because they do not understand it at all in the days that we are living in. And to understand the meaning values of divinity. Therefore does paradise deity attenuate and otherwise qualify the extra paradise personalizations of divinity, thus bringing into existence the supreme creators and their associates who ever carry the light of life farther and farther from its paradise source until it finds its most distant and beautiful expression in the earth lives of the bestowal suns on the evolutionary worlds. And this is the origin of God the sevenfold, whose successive levels are encountered by mortal man in the following order. 1. The Creator's sons. 2. The Ancients of Days. 3. The Seven Master Spirits. 4. The Supreme Being. 5. The Conjoined Actor, which is the Infinite Spirit. 6. The Eternal Son. And 7. The Universal Father. Alright, the first 3 levels are the Supreme Creators. The last 3 levels are the Paradise Deities. The Supreme ever intervenes as the experiential spirit. Personalization of the Paradise Trinity and as the experiential focus of the evolutionary almighty power of the Creator children of the Paradise Deities. The Supreme Being is the maximum revelation of Deity to the 7 super universes and for the present universe age. By the technique of mortal logic, it might be inferred that the experiential reunification of the collective acts of the first 3 levels of God the sevenfold would equivalent to the level of Paradise Deity. But such is not the case. Paradise Deity is existential deity. The supreme creators in their divine unity of power and personality are constitutive and expressive of a new power potential of experiential deity. And this power potential of experiential origin finds inevitable and inescapable union with the experiential deity of Trinity origin dash the Supreme Being. God the Supreme is not the Paradise Trinity, neither is he any one or all of those super universe creators who functional activities actually synthesize his evolving almighty power. God the Supreme, while of origin in the Trinity, becomes manifest to evolutionary creatures as a personality of power only through the coordinated functions of the first 3 levels of God the sevenfold. The Almighty Supreme is now factualizing in time and space through the activities of the Supreme Creator personalities, even as in eternity the conjoined actor dash infinite spirit flashed into being by the will of the Universal Father and the Eternal Son. These beings of the first 3 levels of God the sevenfold are the very nature and source of the power of the Almighty Supreme. Therefore must they ever accompany and sustain his administrative acts. 3. The Almighty and Paradise Deity. The Paradise Deities not only act directly in their gravity circuits throughout the grand universe, but they also function through their various agencies and other manifestations, such as 1. The mind focalizations of the third source and center. The finite domains of energy and spirit are literally held together by the mind presence of the infinite spirit / conjoined actor. This is true from the creative spirit in a local universe through the reflective spirits of a super universe to the master spirits in the grand universe. The mind circuits emanating from these varied intelligence focuses represents the cosmic arena of creature choice. Mind is the flexible reality which creatures and creators can so readily manipulate. It is the vital link connecting matter and spirit. The mind bestowal of the third source and center unifies the spirit person of God the Supreme with the experiential power of the evolutionary Almighty. And then the second, the personality revelations of the second source and center. The mind presence of the conjoined actor / infinite spirit unify the spirit of divinity with the pattern of energy. The bestowal incarnations of the eternal Son and his paradise sons unify, actually fuse, the divine nature of a creator with the evolving nature of a creature. The Supreme is both creature and creator. The possibility of his being as such is revealed in the bestowal actions of the eternal Son and his coordinate and subordinate sons, which are the paradise creator sons, the Michael group, the bestowal orders of sonship, the Michaels and the Avonals and Danals, actually augment their divine natures with bona fide creature natures, which have become theirs by the living of the actual creature life on the evolutionary worlds. When divinity becomes like humanity, inherent in this relationship is the possibility that humanity can become divine if they wish so. If they wish so to be. All is free will choice. 3. The indwelling presence of the first source and center. Mind unifies spirit causations with energy reactions. Bestowal ministry unifies divinity. These descensions with creature ascensions, and the indwelling fragments of the universal Father actually unify the evolving creatures with God on paradise. There are many such presences of the Father which indwell numerous orders of personalities and immortal men. These divine fragments of God are the thought adjusters. The so-called mystery monitors are to human beings what the Paradise Trinity is to the Supreme Being. The adjusters are absolute foundation, and upon absolute foundations free will choice can cause to be evolved the divine reality of the eternaliter nature, finaliter nature in the case of man, deity nature in God the Supreme. The creature bestowals of the paradise orders of sonship enable these divine sons to enrich their personalities by the acquisition of the actual nature of universe creatures, while such bestowals unveilingly reveal to the creatures themselves the paradise path of divinity attainment. The adjuster bestowals of the universal Father enable him to draw the personalities of the volitional will creatures to himself. And throughout all these relationships in the finite universes, the conjoined actor / infinite spirit is the ever-present source of the mind ministry, by virtue of which these activities take place, because the infinite spirit is the God of action. In these and many other ways do the paradise deities participate in the evolutions of time as they unfold on the circling planets of space, and as they culminate in the emergence of the Supreme Personality, consequences of all evolution. 4. The Almighty and the Supreme Creators. The unity of the Supreme Whole is dependent on the progressive unification of the finite parts. The actualization of the Supreme is resultant from and productive of these very unifications of factors of supremacy - the creators, creatures, intelligences and energies of the universe. During those ages in which the sovereignty of supremacy is undergoing its time development, the almighty power of the Supreme is dependent on the divinity acts of God, the sevenfold, while there seems to be a particular close relationship between the Supreme Being and the conjoined actor / infinite spirit, together with his primary personalities, the seven master spirits. The infinite spirit as the conjoined actor functions in many ways which compensate the incompletion of evolutionary deity and sustains very close relations to the Supreme. This closeness of relationship is shared in measure by all of the master spirits, but especially by the master spirit number 7, who speaks for the Supreme. This Master Spirit knows dash is in personal contact with dash the Supreme. Early in the projection of the super universe scheme of creation, the Master Spirits joined with the Ancestral Trinity in the co-creation of the 49 reflective spirits, and concomitantly the Supreme Being functioned creatively as the culminator of the conjoined acts of the Paradise Trinity and the creative children of Paradise Deity. Majeston appeared and ever since has focalized the cosmic presence of the Supreme Mind, while the Master Spirits continue as source-centers for the far-flung ministry of the cosmic mind. But the Master Spirits continue in supervision of the reflective spirits. The seventh Master Spirit is in his overall supervision of Orphanton from the central universe, in personal contact with and has over control of the 7 reflective spirits located on Uversa. In his inter- and intra-super-universe controls and administrations, he is in reflective contact with the reflective spirits of his own type located on each super-universe capital. These Master Spirits are not only the supporters and augmenters of the sovereignty of supremacy, but they are in turn affected by the creative purposes of the Supreme. Ordinarily, the collective creations of the Master Spirits are of the quasi-material order, power, directors, etc. Their individual creations are of spiritual order, but when the Master Spirits collectively produce the 7 circuit spirits in response to the will and purpose of the Supreme Being, it is to be noted that the offspring of this creative act are spiritual, not material or quasi-material. And as it is with the Master Spirits of the super universes, so it is with the triune rulers of these super creations, the Ancients of Days. These personifications of Trinity, justice, judgment, in time and space are the field fulcrums for the mobilizing almighty power of the Supreme, serving as the 7-fold focal points for the evolution of Trinitarian sovereignty in the domains of time and space. From their vantage point, midway between paradise and the evolving worlds, these Trinity-origin sovereigns see both ways, know both ways, and coordinate both ways. But the local universes are the real laboratories in which are worked out the mind experiments, galactic adventures, divinity unfoldings, and personality progressions, which when cosmically totaled or totaled, T-O-T-A-L-E-D, so totaled, constitute the actual foundation upon which the Supreme is achieving deity evolution in and by experience. In the local universes, even the creators evolve. The presence of the conjoined actor / infinite spirit evolves from a living power focus to the status of the divine personality of a universe mother spirit. The creator son evolves from the nature of existential paradise divinity to the experiential nature of supreme sovereignty. The local universes are the starting points of true evolution, the spawning grounds of bona fide imperfect personalities endowed with the free will choice of becoming co-creators of themselves as they are to be. The magisterial sons in their bestowals upon the evolutionary worlds eventually acquire natures expressive of paradise divinity in experiential unification with the highest spiritual values of material human nature. And through these and other bestowals, the micro-creators likewise acquire the natures and cosmic viewpoints of their actual local universe children. Such master creator sons approximate the completion of supreme experience, and when their local universe sovereignty is enlarged to embrace the associated creative spirits, it may be said to approximate the limits of supremacy within the present spirits. It may be said to approximate the limits of supremacy within the present potentials of the evolutionary grand universe. When the bestowal sons reveal new ways for men to find God, they are not creating these paths of divinity attainment, rather are they illuminating the everlasting highways of progression which led through the presence of the Supreme to the person of the Paradise Father. The local universe is the starting place for those personalities who are farthest from God and who can therefore experience the greatest degree of spiritual ascent in the universe, can achieve the maximum of experiential participation in the co-creation of themselves. These same local universes likewise provide the greatest possible depth of experience for the descending personalities who thereby achieve something which is to them just as meaningful as the paradise ascent is to an evolving creature. Mortal man appears to be necessary to the full function of God the Sevenfold, as this divinity grouping culminates in the actualizing Supreme. There are many other orders of universe personalities who are equally necessary to the evolution of the almighty power of the Supreme, but this portrayal is presented for the edification of human beings, hence is largely limited to those factors operating in the evolution of God the Sevenfold which are related to the mortal man. 5. The Almighty and the Sevenfold Controllers. You have been instructed in the relationship of God the Sevenfold to the Supreme Being, and you should now recognize that the Sevenfold encompasses the controllers as well as the creators of the grand universe. These sevenfold controllers of the grand universe embrace the following: 1. Master physical controllers, 2. Supreme power centers, 3. Supreme power directors, 4. The Almighty Supreme, 5. The God of Action, which is the infinite spirit or conjoined actor, 6. The Isle of Paradise, and 7. The Source of Paradise - the Universal Father. These 7 groups are functionally inseparable from God the Sevenfold and constitute the physical control level of this deity association. The bifurcation of energy and spirit stemming from the conjoined presence of the eternal Sun and the Paradise Isle was symbolized in the super universe. Since when the 7 master spirits unitedly engaged in their first act of collective creation, this episode witnessed the appearance of the 7 supreme power directors. Concomitant therewith, the spiritual circuits of the master spirits contrastively differentiated from the physical activities of power director supervision, and immediately did the cosmic mind appear as a new factor coordinating matter and spirit. The Almighty Supreme is evolving as the overcontroller of the physical power of the grand universe. In the present universe age, this potential of physical power appears to be centered in the 7 supreme power directors who operate through the fixed locations of the power centers and through the mobile presence of the physical controllers. In time universes are not The time universes are not perfect, that is their destiny. The struggle for perfection pertains not only to the intellectual and spiritual levels, but also to the physical level of energy and mass. The settlement of the seven super universes in light and life presupposes their attainment of physical stability, signify the completed evolution of the physical control of the Almighty. In the early days of universe building, even the paradise creators are primarily concerned with material equilibrium. The pattern of a local universe takes shape not only as a result of the activities of the power centers, but also because of the space presence of the creative spirit. And throughout these early epochs of a local universe building, the creator sun exhibits a little understood attribute of material control, and he does not leave his capital planet until the gross equilibrium of the local universe has been established. In the final analysis, all energy responds to mind, and the physical controllers are the children of the mind God, who is the activator of paradise pattern. The intelligence of the power directors is unremittingly devoted to the task of bringing about material control. Their struggle for the physical dominance over the relationships of energy and emotions of mass never ceases until they achieve finite victory over the energies and masses which constitutes their perpetual domains of activity. The spirit struggles of time and space have to do with the evolution of spirit dominance over matter by the meditation of between brackets personal mind. The physical non-personal evolution of the universe has to do with bringing cosmic energy into harmony with the equilibrium concepts of mind subject to the over-control of spirit. The total evolution of the entire grand universe is a matter of the coordinated intellect and will be revealed in the full appearance of the almighty power of the Supreme. The difficulty in arriving at a state of dynamic equilibrium is inherent in the fact of the growing cosmos. The established circuits of physical creation are being continually jeopardized by the appearance of new energy and new mass. A growing universe is an unsettled universe, hence no part of the cosmic whole can find real stability until the fullness of time witnesses the material completion of the 7 super universes. In the settled universes of light and life, there are no unexpected physical events of major importance. Of course not, because it's then light and life. So that's of course there is no unexpected physical events anymore, because there's no sorrow anymore, and anything that we are now experiencing has come to cease to exist. Relatively complete control over the material creation has been achieved. Still, the problems of the relationship of the settled universes to the evolving universes continue to challenge the skill of the universe power directors, but these problems will gradually vanish with the diminution of new creative activity as the grand universe approaches the culmination of evolutionary expression. And then 6, spirit dominance. In the evolutionary super-universe, energy-matter is dominant except in personality, where spirit through the mediation of mind is struggling for the mastery. The goal of the evolutionary universes is the subjugation of energy, matter by mind, the coordination of mind with spirit, and all of this by virtue of the creative and unifying presence of personality. Well, this is a long path to go, so that's why the ascension path takes uncountable thousands, if not millions of years, and even in some cases a billion years. Thus, in relation to personality, do physical systems become subordinate, mind systems coordinate, and spirit systems directive. This union of power and personality is expressive on deity levels in and as the supreme, but the actual evolution of spirit dominance is a growth which is predicated on the free will acts of the creators and the creatures of the grand universe. On absolute levels, energy and spirit are one, but the moment a departure is made from such absolute levels, difference appears, and as energy and spirit move spaceward from paradise, the gulf between them widens until in the local universes they have become quite divergent. They are no longer identical, neither are they alike, and mind must intervene to interrelate them. That energy can be directionized by the action of controller personalities discloses the responsiveness of energy to mind action. And that mass can be stabilized through the action of these same controlling entities indicates the responsiveness of mass to the order-producing presence of mind, and that spirit itself in volitional personality can strive through mind for the mastery of energy matter, discloses the potential unity of all finite creation. There is an interdependence of all forces and personalities throughout the universe of universes. Creator sons and creative spirits depend on the cooperative function of the power centers and physical controllers in the organization of universes. The supreme power directors are incomplete without the over-control of the master spirits. In a human being, the mechanisms of physical life is responsive in part to the dictates of so-called personal mind. This very mind may in turn become dominant by the leadings of purposive spirit, and the result of such evolutionary development is the production of a new child of the Supreme. A new personal unification of the several kinds of cosmic reality. And as it is with the parts, so it is with the whole. The spirit person of supremacy requires the evolutionary power of the Almighty to achieve completion of deity and to attain destiny of Trinity association. The effort is made by the personalities of time and space. But the culmination and consummation of this effort is the act of the Almighty Supreme, and while the growth of the whole is thus a totalizing of the collective growth of the parts, it equally follows that the evolution of the parts is a segmented reflection of the purposive growth of the whole. On paradise, monota and spirit are as one dash, indistinguishable except by name. Comma, in Havona, comma, matter and spirit, comma, while distinguishably different, are at the same time innately harmonious. In the seven super universes, however, there is great divergence. There is a wide gulf between cosmic energy and divine spirit. Therefore is there a greater experiential potential for mind action in harmonizing and eventually unifying physical pattern with spiritual purposes. In the time evolving universes of space, there is greater divinity and attenuation, more difficult problems to be solved, and larger opportunity to acquire experience in their solution. And this entire super universe situation brings into being a larger arena of evolutionary existence in which the possibility of cosmic experience is made available alike to creature and creator. Even to supreme deity, the dominance of spirit, which is existential on absolute levels, becomes an evolutionary experience on finite levels and in the seven super universes. And this experience is shared alike by all, from mortal man to the supreme being. All strive personally, strive in the achievement. All personally participate in the destiny. 7, and the last of this paper, the living organism of the grand universe. The grand universe is not only a material creation of physical grandeur, spirit sublimity, and intellectual magnitude, it is also a magnificent and responsive living organism. There is actually a life pulsating throughout the mechanism of the vast creation of the vibrant cosmos. The physical reality of the universes is symbolic of the perceivable reality of the Almighty Supreme, and this material and living organism is penetrated by intelligence circuits, even as the human body is traversed by a network of neural sensation paths. This physical universe is permeated by energy lanes which effectively activate material creation, even as the human body is nourished and energized by the circulatory distribution of the assimilable energy products of nourishments. The vast universe is not without those coordinating centers of magnificent over-control, which might be compared to the delicate chemical control system of the human mechanisms. But if you only knew something about the physique of a power center, which we do not know, and start to get to know if we choose so, to go further on our path of ascension. If you only knew something about the physique of a power center, we could by analogy tell you so much more about the physical universe. Much as mortals look to solar energy for life maintenance, so does the grand universe depend upon the unfailing energies emanating from the nether paradise to sustain the material activities and cosmic motions of space. Mind has been given to mortals wherewith they may become self-conscious of identity and personality, and mind even a supreme mind has been bestowed upon the totality of the finite, whereby the spirit of this emerging personality of the cosmos ever strives for the mastery of energy-matter. Mortal man is responsive to spirit guidance, even as the grand universe responds to the far-flung spirit gravity grasp of the eternal sun, the universal supermaterial cohesion of the eternal spiritual values of all the creations of the finite cosmos of time and space. Human beings are capable of making an everlasting self-identification with total and indestructible universe reality fusion with the indwelling thought adjuster if they so wish. Likewise, does the supreme everlasting depend on the absolute stability of original deity, the paradise trinity. Man's urge for paradise perfection, his striving for God-attainment, creates a genuine divinity tension in the living cosmos, which can only be resolved by the evolution of an immortal soul. This is what happens in the experience of a single mortal creature. But when all creatures and all creators in the grand universe likewise strive for God attainment and divine perfection, there is built up a profound cosmic tension which can only find resolution in the sublime synthesis of almighty power with the spirit person of the evolving God of all creatures, life and light, and the supreme being. So God of all creatures is actually the supreme being. And with this said, I have come to the end of reading this paper 116, and all the information in this paper has been given to us by a mighty messenger temporarily sojourning on Urantia. And thank you so much, mighty messenger, for giving us this information. And I also want to say thank you to all of you who have listened to this audio video, and God bless you.